Hello and welcome. I am Eliott and this is my channel. Today we're going to talk about a case of a missing person. Actually, two missing people. Now, what's different about this case is these people did not disappear without a trace. They were found. They weren't found alive. Their bodies were found. And so some might think, well, case closed, right? These are the facts. Their bodies were found. Nothing more to talk about, except for a couple of twists. A couple of twists that I think you're going to think about for a little while. And maybe that's not as simple as it seems. You decide. Before we get started, if you'd like to give this video a thumbs up, I'd appreciate that. If you would like to be subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you'd like to be notified of my content when it goes up, go ahead and click that bell. And fair warning, I am struggling with asthma. So before you break out your keyboard and want to write, "What the hell is wrong with your voice?" I am struggling with asthma. My bad. All right. Are you guys ready? Let's talk about this. This is the case of Joe Eliott-Blakeslee and Amy Linkert. The two of them disappeared September 24th, 2013. They were at the Craters of the Moon National Monument in Idaho. Joe Eliott-Blakeslee was 63 years old, and she was a physician at the Snake River Correctional Institute in Ontario, Oregon. And Amy Linkert, she was 69. She had retired from teaching at Lowell Scott Middle School in Meridian, Idaho. The two of them visited Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve and left Boise, Idaho on September 13th, 2013. They failed to return on Friday, September 20th, which had been the plan, because Dr. Joe was going to go back to work on September 24th. Well, they were reported missing on September 24th because employees who worked with Dr. Joe called police when she failed to show up at work, and it just wasn't like her. However, the unfortunate circumstance was that the federal government was in the middle of shutting down at the time. It officially started on October 1st, but it hindered the search for the two women. Fortunately, 10 park rangers, out of the kindness of their heart and the duty to what they do every day, continued to look for Joe and Amy on foot. But they didn't have access to government resources, which means they couldn't use helicopters, dogs, or planes to try and find the missing women. Now, police say that they found receipts from the Craters of the Moon's Visitor Center indicating that they were at the monument on Tuesday, September 24th. Now keep this in mind. They had cell phones. They weren't in the middle of nowhere. They could have used a phone somewhere. Yet they didn't call anybody and tell them that they were not going to report back home. That on the day that Dr. Joe was supposed to be at work, she was at the monument, apparently, and nobody knew this. So the day she was at the monument, that the receipts say that she was there, that is the day she was reported missing, because it was not like her to not show up for work. And then 2 days later, they were allegedly spotted at a campground in Arco. That is about 18 miles away from Craters. So 2 days after the two of them had been reported missing, they were at a campground. They hadn't called anybody. They hadn't called their family, their friends, their jobs. Dr. Joe was a doctor. She was now 3 days away from having supposedly been at work. No phone calls, nothing, no contact. Their vehicle was later found at the Tree Molds Trail parking lot, which is a popular trailhead in the monument. Strangely, though, both women's dogs, their cell phones, and several other items were found inside their pickup at the trailhead. The fact that they left their 2 dogs behind suggested that they didn't plan to be gone for very long. In fact, they were hikers. They were hiking. They brought their dogs. You wouldn't leave your dogs in the truck. You would maybe leave them in the truck if you were going to use the restroom and you were getting ready to go. You'd packed your truck up, you put the dogs in. Let's stop one more time by the restroom. You wouldn't unpack your dogs. But if they were going hiking, this is exactly why they did bring their dogs, to take them hiking. But their cell phones and their dogs were in their vehicle. Their family said that they would not go off trail or out of sight of the track. It wasn't like them. And it was not like them to leave their dogs in the car. Tammy Kirklow, who is Amy's niece, said they were both former missionaries, they were both avid hikers, and they were both survivalists. This is very strange. To have their phones. I mean, I know they probably wouldn't work in the caves, but to leave them in the truck, that's very strange to us, meaning her family and her friends. She left her dogs and her phone, both of them, in the vehicle. And then went on, a hike? Well, we'll see. With those facts in mind, their family said that they wouldn't leave their dogs in the truck, and it was completely unlike them to leave their cell phones in the truck. That they wouldn't go off trail. It was not like them. They were avid hikers. They know the quote-unquote rules. They know what happens when you go off trail. It can be dangerous. So with that in mind, the rescue team searched the area. The search was concentrated in a 5-mile area on the south end of the monument near the Tree Molds, Broken Top Loop, and Wilderness Trails. The search area was in a rugged and often dangerous territory and, not surprisingly, prone to unpredictable weather. But they didn't find them, despite of an intense search which saw 6,000 volunteer search hours. Now, keep in mind, the government shutdown ended. Eventually, they were allowed to use government equipment and help. 6,000 volunteer search hours. Nothing. No sign of them. So, they expanded their search, and on September 25th, in a lava field, and if you don't know what a lava field is, I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of one up here in this video. It is a place where you really can't miss much. If you have any color at all, you're going to be seen, because lava fields tend to be pitch black, as lava is when it dries. In a lava field northwest of Tree Molds Trail, they found Amy's body. She was found face up on the lava. She was wearing only a short sleeve shirt and pants. She did not have her jacket on. They never found it. She did not have her backpack. Was never found. She didn't have food or water with her. Rescuers believe that she became disoriented while possibly searching for help and died of exposure. But why? Amy is a survivalist. Amy is an avid hiker. Why would she not have her jacket, her backpack, her food, her water, if she was going to go look for help? If she was going to go look for help, why would she be disoriented at the very beginning? This was, if they left their dogs in the truck, their family said they weren't going anywhere. They weren't, at the very least, they weren't going to go anywhere far. They would stay within distance of their truck. So, The circumstances are a little strange, but they found her. The authorities at the time did not suspect any foul play in her death. Initially, when they found her, they thought they had found Dr. Joe. There is a resemblance between the two women, but there was no identification on her body, so dental records confirmed that it was, in fact, Amy. Then the search continued for an entire month, which is unusual in national park situations. And a month later, they found Dr. Joe about a mile from Amy, 2.5 miles from their pickup, in an area that had been flown over by helicopters many, many, many times over that month. Many times. It was never seen there. Her body had not been seen there. It was eventually found by a helicopter flying over right there. But in the entire month leading up to that, no, it wasn't seen there until it happened to be there. Authorities said that both women appeared to have died of exposure and showed signs of dehydration. How and why the women were separated remains unclear, but perhaps one of the two became injured and the other woman went to seek help but got in trouble. But if so, why not follow a trail? Go back the exact same way you came from. And why are they 2.5 miles away from their truck when everyone who knows them said that just wouldn't do it? They would just not put their dogs in a truck and hike off 2.5 miles away. They would stay within sight of their truck, of their dogs. These are survivalists. These are avid hikers. These are people who would know better. One of whom is a doctor. If she got help, would she not have had enough water? If they didn't have enough water to hike 2.5 miles away, think about this. Then they weren't intending to hike 2 miles away. Avid hikers know better than that. Survivalists certainly know better than that. So many questions remain about this case. In fact, the police have questions about this case because it doesn't add up to them in their minds. So let's talk about that. Number one, why would Dr. Joe and Amy leave their dogs and their mobile phones in the pickup, suggesting that they were planning to stay in that vicinity? Maybe have a picnic, maybe use the restroom. Even if you're having a picnic, people who own dogs and take them hiking and such, if you're listening to this, you know you would take your dogs. Not to the restroom, but if you were having a picnic. If you were hiking, you would take your dogs. That's why they took their dogs with them. Also, why was Amy found face up on the lava, laying there, wearing only a short sleeve shirt, pants, and no jacket? Her jacket was gone. Her backpack was gone. She had no food or water. Why did she go on the trail with no equipment or supplies? Or did she? And what happened to them? Why were Joe and Amy separated? That doesn't make any sense either. Perhaps Joe was injured. But Joe didn't die from injuries. Coroner said that Joe died from dehydration and exposure. So Joe didn't die from a heart attack. Joe didn't die from a brain aneurysm or a stroke. So why couldn't she have been helped back to the car? And why did it take a month to find Joe's body, even though there had been several many flyovers by search helicopters specifically looking for this woman on black terrain where she could be easily seen, where she was easily seen when they did find her. Authorities do dismiss foul play, although they still have questions, so leaves me to wonder, are they really dismissing foul play? It seems unlikely the two just left their dogs behind and went wandering around in potentially dangerous terrain without supplies. What made them leave their pickup? What made them leave their belongings, their food, their water? What made them separate? We'll probably never know. But these two women, avid hikers, both survivalists. Neither one of them naive, neither one of them inexperienced. Why were they there in that park on those lava fields 3 days after Dr. Joe was supposed to have gone to work? A woman who never missed work and failed to call and say she wasn't going to be there. That seems strange as well. And that is 5 or 6 days from when she was supposed to be home in the first place. So almost a week later, she had a cell phone. She contacted no one. Neither one of them contacted anyone to tell them they weren't going to be there. So would they intentionally worry their family and friends and coworkers? Doesn't seem like they were irresponsible women. Well, this one remains a mystery. Thank you for coming to my channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It's free. If you'd like to be subscribed, please do so. And if you'd like to be notified when my content goes live, please go ahead and click that bell. I would appreciate it very much. Good night.